This conference will now be recorded.
So GDG stands Generation Data Group. As I said, it is very, very important topic in JCL. In every project may not use GDG, but most of the projects are if you go to interview, most of the interviewers or companies will ask interview questions on GDG. Okay, so you should prepare well about GDG. And if once the project start utilizing the GDG, you should know the concept thoroughly, okay, practically everything. Then it would be easy for you to answer and able to do hands-on in project also. You will be able to implement it. So what is GDG? So let me give you the definition. So what is GDG? So I'll take the definition alone. So generation data group are group of data sets related each other by common name. The common name referred as a GDG base. Each data set associated with the base is called GDG version. Okay, so they have given a good example definition. So I'll try to elaborate a little bit more now. Okay, so generation data groups are group of data sets related to each other by a common name. The common name is referred as a GDG base. Each data set associated with the base is called GDG version or generation. We can call as a version or generation. Okay. Now, how we can understand the statement? If I am new to GDG, how we can understand in a better way, right? So what we did so far in JCL team, what we would have done in JCL so far, one data set, you would have created multiple data sets, 10, 100, so many data sets you would have created. There is no linking between each data set. So all are independent. Okay. So, but I want to create a one data set. On top of the data set, rest of the data set should be linked. Okay, it should be linked. It should be mapped. So why we need to map and all of them, I will explain. Okay, so I'll explain one scenario. From that scenario, I'll try to give more details about the GDG. So Tim, are you getting pay slip, bank statement, or reports on credit card bill or Paytm bill? Okay, you might be getting reports, right? You might be getting pay slip if you're working in organization. You might be getting credit card statement, debit card statement, on Paytm statement or bank statement. Any type of the statement. How you will get? We will get monthly basis on a particular date and time, right? On a particular date and month, time, day and particular date, we will get the reports. So if I want to achieve the same thing in mainframe, how we can do it? That is a question, right? Let me take you one real-time scenario here, team, for the same context, right? So let's take this is the ATM machine. Okay, so this is here is the ATM machine. Whatever you're doing in ATM machine is going to store in the database. Okay, so then there is a application program. There is application program. It will read all your transactions for that month. It should generate the report. It should generate the report. Okay, so ATM or ATM or bank. ATM or bank. Now this is your database. So whatever we are doing, all of them are going to come to database. Internally it will store in the database. So it might be in a ATM or bank, you can deposit. Okay, right. Okay, so let's take a, you are taking a you are using credit card statement in different stores. I will take example ATM. So you would have used deposited, withdrawal, deposital, withdrawal. So all the transactions are going to store. All the transactions are going to, yeah, all the transactions are going to store in this particular database. Now end of the month. Okay, so end of the month, program will read the data from, it will read the data from database and generate the statements. So read the transaction, generate the statement. So in January month, it will generate one report. Let's say I want report for 12 months. So January, one report. For February, it should generate another report. Okay, so March, it should generate another report. So everything should happen without any human intervention. So whatever I drawn now, whatever I have explaining here, everything should happen in A to Z automatically. So how things happen still? See, ATM transaction will be stored in database, that is automatic. So reading the transactions, and from reading the transaction from the file or database, generating the report. If I want to generate the report in the file, let's take example, we are generating the reports in the file. So first month I generated the report, it is working fine. Can I generate for February month? Can I generate for February month? Yes, I can do it. But the file name, I have to change it. If I want to submit March month, I have to change the file name. So April, change the file name. May, change the file name. So like that, you have to change. So changing the data set names is not feasible for our business requirement. Okay. If the customer wants to see the January, okay, it might be difficult. If I want to refer, it might be difficult. Okay. So how you can achieve it? Okay, how we can achieve it? Now you have seen some generic explanation. I will take an example. See, there is a job code. Step 1, execute PCM. PCM is equal to report or PCM. So you take this as a report PCM. So this report PCM is taking input data DD1 DSN is equal to from this file. It is taking the data from this particular DB file. So I'll say x.y.z disposition share. So this program will read the data from here. It will generate the report. You take any type of the report. So it is generating a report for the January month. So DD to DD DSN is equal to, so I want to generate a report for January. So for that I am creating a file p.q.r disposition new catalog delete disposition already written, right? So next DCB parameter, next unit parameter, space parameter. Now, this example already you know, right team? If I submit this code, what happens? Will it write the data into this particular p.qr file? Yes, it will write. So assumption is program is to generate the report. It will take the input from here. It will write into the p.q.r. So the output will be written into p.qr if there are no errors in the JCL wise. Assume that no errors. So after I submit, I will get the p.qr data set. If I submit this code, one more file should create without changing the file name. You got my point? If I submit this code, p.q.r file should create, it should create a new file without changing them. So as of now, as of now, whatever we discuss the topics from that, we cannot do it. So somebody can argue in interview. So you want to report for second month. So if I use old, it is going to work, right? So they might argue. So this JCL is going to work if I keep old. 100% it will work. But whatever the data earlier it has, it is going to delete. So January month data is going to remove from p.qr. February month data will be added from this report and input data. So what is my intention? I want to keep p.q.r file data, January data in one file. In February data also, I should keep in a separate file. So somebody says that if I use old, I will lose old data. So that is the problem with the old or share. If I use new and if I submit in February month, as you know, it will throw JCL error or file already existing. So you don't get any desired output. So new is not the right option, old is not the option, and share is also not a good option. So if somebody asks you mod, if you give mod, what it might happen that it will February data will be added to the January data. February data will be added to January data. So what is the intention? February file should have the February data, not combination of them, because end user will get confusion. So even disposition also not helping us. So only one way is by changing the file name. So if you change the file name, this program will pick the February data from this file, it will run it. Okay, so how to pick the February data and all, it will be taken care in the particular JCL. That we no need to worry. Okay, so did you understand the concept, the problem with the as of now without GDG? Did you understand? So I want output file whenever I submit, as simple as whenever I submit the JCL, output file automatically should create without changing manually, without human intervention. If I submit, it should create one file. If I submit, it should create second file. If I submit, it should create third file without changing the file name. Okay, how we can achieve? We can able to do that using GDG concept. So if you don't understand the overall picture, just simple way you can remember. I want to create every submission one output file without changing the file name. Simple. I don't want to change the file name, but it should create a one sequential file. If I submit second time, it should do it. So if you want to do that particular requirement, we can able to do with the GDG. Am I clear so far, team?
Yes, Venkat.
Right. So now there are different ways to create a GDG. Okay. So there are different ways to create a GDG. One is different ways to create GDG. One way is ISP of 3.2 option. Second is IDCAMS utility. We use IDCAMS utility. So first I'll explain with ISP of 3.2. Then after I'll explain IDCAMS utility. So three utilities, two data set. A indicates, sorry, we need to select V because within V only GDG will be there. So V and provide the GDG name. So I am providing GDG name matrm dot john 21 dot demo dot GDG. This normal file at this moment. Enter. So I want to create a GDG that is defined. You want to define GDG, you want to delete GDG, you want information about GDG. So we want define, we want to allocate, select one. So you want to define, that is fine. You want to define alias, you want to define alternative index, you want to define cluster, you want to define GDG, you want to define non-visa. So we want to create GDG. So keep option 4. Now keep the enter. So there are three important parameters. One is limit, scratch, and empty, no empty. Scratch, no scratch. So limit n we can mention. So we have something called retention period or reference. Okay, reference date. So either retention period or reference date, both are same. Okay, I will see them. So I don't explain what these parameters at this moment. After doing some hands-on, I'll explain. So limit I have given 4. Limit I have given 4. Mention effect empty scratch. Empty scratch. So F7 limit is 4. Empty and scratch. So there is a days for 365 days, 1 day or something. Hit the enter. So we got something syntax. Define GDG. Define is the IDCAMS utility command. Name is the parameter to specify the GDG name. Limit empty scratch. So I'll copy for your reference purpose. Control V. Now how we can execute? EXEC. On command line we can type EXEC. Hit the enter. Return code is 0. Return code is 0. Equal 3.4 John 21 demo.g star. GDG got created successfully. GDG got created successfully. So it is what we call, this is called GDG base. This is called GDG base. Why we are calling base, that also we'll understand. I am opening a data set in edit mode. No, you cannot view or E and all. Okay, it is a base to do something on the GDG. Now, so this is a GDG base will help us to create a file, how many you want. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to our existing JCL. Yeah. So team, GDG name of +1. Okay, I'll explain what is what, don't worry. So this is the JCL to copy the data. So we don't have any COBOL program at this moment. I'm using IEB gener to copy our input data to output file. So sysut2 is the DD name to specify output data set. GDG base name within the bracket we have to give +1 to create new generation. You know, see, if you want to create a new generation, we will give plus. When GDG generation or version, we will give +1. We will give +1. So it is going to create a file, that is sequential file, with these attributes. With these attributes, file is going to create. So I will keep January employee data. Okay, so I'll keep name as a David for dummy data. Save and submit. So we got max 0. F9 start 3.4, Jan 21 start. So can you see team? The file got created. Okay, generation got created. So
Yes,
this,
Venkat.
yeah,
Can you please tell me about one time GDG base file creation?
I'll come to that again.
Okay.
Venkat, want to clarify one thing. So IDCAMS is the utility to create GDG base, and IEB gener is the utility to copy data from one file to GDG file, right?
Yeah, so right, but see, to give you more clarity, I can use GDG base name as a output file anywhere. Okay, so I can use this pattern, this particular code in any program. It need not to be with IEB gener, it need not to be with IEBR 14, it need not to be with some XYZ. You can use this combination for COBOL program also. So the GDG base name +1 to create a file. Wherever you are able to create output file, you can use GDG base. I hope you got the clarity. Okay, so I guess you're on mute if you're responding. Right. So team, this is called GDG base. This is called generation. What we call generation. Always GDG base dot GNNN NVNN will be there. So that is how it will be there. This is syntax. So this is the base name. Suffix is creating by GDG base. Okay. If you see, generation data groups are group of data sets related to each other by common name. So this file is depends on the GDG base. Okay. Without existing GDG base, this will not be there. So what I want to convey, if generation existing means GDG should be there. If it is a present, then only generation will be present. Now, so if you go to this generation, it is a sequential file. So sequential file. What is the requirement? What you specified here, that will be. So next time I can keep 40, not a problem at all. So it is a sequential file. Can I open in edit mode? I can open. Okay, so this is generation. Now I'm changing the only input data, not output. Okay, so February employee data Madhu, employee Madhu. So now what happens, team? Whenever I submit, since this is the GDG base name, automatically one generation will be created. But before it is creating, this particular GDG base has any generation? Yes, already we created. So now, if I submit the second time, generation will become a 2 here. So let's see. Now this data will be there. Madhu, you got the answer now? Submit. Refresh. You can see 2. So Madhu is there. Madhu, are you clear now?
Yes.
Okay. So if I use normal any VSAM file or PS file, I cannot do it like this. So what you notice now? Okay, if you're not clear earlier, at least by this example, you can understand. Whenever I am submitting, the file is creating automatically. So because it is a GDG. Okay. Now I'm keeping March data. So I'm keeping March data. So Ashish. Save. Remember the names, okay, team. Submit. So now if I go here, Control C, third file is created. So here David is there, data. Here Madhu is there. Here Ashish. Now whether the similar data, what, refresh it. Refresh. Press F3. So now we are having third. Okay, let's go to the file. Ashish is there. So nothing but what I explained. Whenever I submit this program, the files are creating automatically by reading data. So we don't have COBOL program. If it is there, we would have achieved that as well as. Now I'm submitting April data. So I'm submitting 4th time April. I'm keeping randomly some data like Bhavani. Save, submit. So now this file would have created. Control C, 4, Control S. Refresh. If you refresh, file got created. So like this, how many generations will create, right? So that is a good question mark. Now if I submitted 4 times, 4 generations got created. If I submit 5th time, will it create the 5th one or not? It is totally depends on the limit parameter. Now limit will come into the picture. Already we submitted 4. What is the limit you kept? 4. But maximum you can give 255 altogether. So now you mentioned 4. Already 4 generations are there. If I submit, okay, so I'll write a scenario. If I submit 5th time, what happens? Right? So depends on the empty scratch, the story remains the total rest of the story depends on the empty and no empty. So I kept empty. Okay, what I did? I kept empty. So empty means it will delete all generations. According to the current example, 4 generations, it will be deleted. It will be deleted all previous generations. Okay, whenever it is you are submitting after the limit, we will lose 4. So I am explaining this scenario as a practical now. 5th time submitting, refresh. See, 5th one only is there, but first 4 gone. Are you clear? So what? So let's say instead of empty, if I mention no empty, okay, consider that here I kept as a no empty. If I mention as a no empty, oldest generation will be deleted. So according to the definition, assume that there are 4 generations. I am submitting 5th one. Now which one is going to delete, team? Will it delete oldest one is what? 4 or 1? What is the oldest one?
First one.
First one. So no empty means it will delete only 1. Empty means clear all of them. Empty. Just English meaning is what? Empty. Clear, clear the box like that. Clear the entire generation. That is the meaning of empty. No empty means boss. Don't delete all of them. Go and delete the oldest among all the generations. So it will delete this one. It will add 5th one. It will be adding the 5th one. So this will be there. This will not be there. That is the meaning of it. If I submit, if I submit 6th time, then 6 will be there and old. So altogether maximum you will be able to see 4 generations at a time as per the GDG definition. If I keep 255, you are able to see 255 generations, sequential files. Is it clear? So how they ask in interview? Okay, so I mentioned limit 4, no empty I mentioned. Okay, what is the GDG definition? Limit is 4, no empty. If I submit 5th time, okay, already 4 generations are there. If I submit 5th time, what happens? Will it delete all of them or it will delete oldest one? What is the answer?
It will keep all of them.
I'm telling, again, I'm repeating my scenario. I mentioned interview question, this is the interview question. Okay, so interview question is what? So limit I mentioned as a 3, I mentioned as an empty, and I am submitting 4th time, means already there are 3 generations. So if I'm submitting 4th time, what happens now in this scenario?
It will delete the first generation.
Let's see, take a scenario. You see the scenario.
It will
Empty.
delete
It
first
will
3
delete all the
It will delete
all
So
3.
empty means it will
Fourth
delete
one
all generations.
it will delete all old generations.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so please, you need to think yourself in a broad way. Okay, so you have to create yourself multiple scenarios. I kept limit 3, no empty I mentioned, and I am submitting 4th time. What happened? It will delete oldest
oldest one will be deleted.
among old generations or versions. Make sense?
Yes.
Right. So now by this time you would have got the purpose of the limit and empty, no empty. What about scratch? So you are saying it will be deleted all generations, it will delete the oldest generation and all. So if you keep scratch means permanently it will be removed. Okay, scratch means permanently it will be deleted. Permanently it will be deleted. No scratch means it will be deleted. It will be deleted, but we can recover, retain it by using recovery command. So I did not execute. Okay, recovery. Some command is there to recover it. Okay, so if I keep, now I'm adding little bit. So now you tell me, guys, can you tell me the answer for this particular scenario? Limit 3, empty, scratch I mentioned, and I'm submitting fourth time.
When for the fourth generation, it will delete the first generation when we try to create fourth generation. Okay, and empty and you have given scratch, right? So it will fill all the catalog information with zeros.
Can you reiterate? Okay. Can you?
It will delete the version permanently.
It will delete all old generations permanently. Okay. Simple way you try to say like this. So empty means it will delete all permanently because of the scratch. So I added scratch, I kept as a permanent. Simple. Okay. So this is GDG definition and parameters in GDG definition. So they might ask you maximum number of generations you can create 255. How many steps within a job? 255. How many files? How many files you can?
65,000
using IEB general. IEB general utility 255. So what I'm trying to convey that. So 255 numbers coming 3 times in JCL. Okay. So if you remember this, you can able to answer for some of the interview questions. Now, this is GDG. So I'm creating one more time. You can observe now. So now you can guide me how to create GDG through ISP of 3.2.
3,
Right?
2,
Right?
V,
B. Yes. Okay. John 21 demo JCL start demo dot GDG. Enter.
1.
So
Type is 4.
So I'm keeping now this time. Can you see no empty? So what are the possible values also given there? No scratch. So I'm keeping 3 only this time. So enter and reset to clear the warning messages and execute. You should get return code 0, which means that the file got created, the GDG file got created successfully. Yeah, others go on, but I'm getting noise from someone. Yeah, thanks. Let me go on mute. I'm getting sound from you. Yeah, thanks. So let me close. Well, I'm going back to the So 4.
So Venkat, what you're creating base GDG, isn't it?
Yeah, I created GDG base with these parameters.
Okay.
3 empty scratch. So team, this is the GDG base name. Okay. Now I'm going to one of the JCL. So I'm keeping this time so +1 always to create a new generation. So I'll explain that what is +1 and all. This unit equal SysDA. So to answer, to give more clarity for one of our colleague question that do I need to use only with the EP genre? No. So I'm using IFBR 14. Purpose is what? To create a sequential file. So I'm creating with the, so GDG is the base, but rest of the things is sequential file. Now submit. Okay, AB. Let me see team what went wrong. First I'll keep JC so that we don't get that DSN so unit equals 68. So let me see what went wrong. It seems I have given unit parameter twice. Yeah, so I've given here, there also I've given. So submit. We got 0. Now equal 3.4. So can you see team, file got created. So as per our syntax, limit is 3. Now it has only 1. So I'm submitting second time. F9, refresh, 2, submit, third time, refresh, 3. This is the latest, older, oldest. How you define, up to you. So the new one is 3, before that 2, before that 1. So I kept limit 3. If I submit 4, what happens team according to the definition and scenario? I'm submitting 4th time. What happens? What happens
First
now?
version will delete
Yeah.
permanently.
Among all of them, oldest one is 1 will be deleted permanently. Refresh, not there. Okay, so we have seen practically what is empty, no empty, scratch, no scratch. Right. Now let's you consider as now I'm taking all our interview questions team. So now whatever I'm explaining, all are frequently asked questions. So among them, what frequently and little bit tricky part, that also I list. Okay. FAQs on GDG. So whatever we discussed that, but if you read theoretically, anybody can answer. But this hands-on generally we don't get opportunity to do hands-on. Okay, because we don't get the time, we don't get chance, all of them. So what I am doing team, I'm keeping 4 as a latest, older and oldest. So keeping some dummy data at this moment. So I'll write I'll write C, simple text C. I'll mention as a B. I'll mention as a B. Here I'll mention A. So you can insert any data, right? So what is there in 14? C. What is there in 3? B. What is there in 2? A. So how we can read the data? So there was a question, how we can read the data from GDG generation. Okay. So I want to read the data from the generation. So I'm
Dear,
using IEB gener to do that. I'm using simple utility. Yeah. Someone about to ask the question.
dear Venkat, can you please write the answers in notepad? Frequently
Which
asked
was?
question.
Yeah, I'm writing.
Okay.
There is a document, okay, where FAQs I'll give you, okay. COT2. And by the way, I'm planning to place this video in my YouTube channel. You can refer it. Okay, it is open for everyone. Okay, this video alone. See, dummy. Right. So team COT1 to specify the input data set. So what is the latest generation team according to the current scenario?
Fourth one.
Fourth one. So what is my requirement? Okay. So question is how to read always the data from latest generation. Got it? So as per my knowledge, I can say that this is latest generation. My knowledge means according to your understanding so far. So I'll keep share, I'll keep it submit. So I'm redirecting the output to spool like this. Now in spool, what is the output team? By the way, in spool, what is the output?
C.
C. So this file has a C. Okay. I have to use DSN is equal, by the way. Save, submit. You can see output. Okay, restart step is not there. That is a mistake. Save, submit. S806 means utility is wrong. IEB general. Save, submit. Yeah, so we got max 0. Go to spool now. Start ST. CC22 C is coming. So output is fine. So what is my question? So one way answer here. This is the one answer. The next question they might ask you, you might be giving like this. Okay. So let me do something also. So team, I am submitting one more time. Please notice, I am submitting one more time. What is the generation will be there now? What is the latest generation? See, I did it according to the earlier is 4.
3, 4, 5.
Now it will be a 5. It will be a 5.
3, 4, 5 will be there. Yeah.
Now it is a 5. If I submit IEB gener, will it refer the latest generation? Will it refer the oldest one? older one.
No, it will take the older one.
Okay, so what I want to convey team, that I want to read always the read, how to read always the how to read the data, always from the latest generation. So now always means whenever I submit, it should refer always latest only. But if I submit this code, it will not take the latest one. So to specify the latest one, don't give any moment file name. Simply you give 0. Okay. So 0 always indicates to read the latest generation. Mean whatever the latest generation is there, to read it, we use 0. This is the correct answer for my question. So +1 indicates to create a new generation. Okay. Second answer here, 0. Am I clear to? So
Yes,
why I have to mention 0? Because every time the 4 will not be the latest generation. If 3 times we submit, it will not be there also. Such a way the condition will be there. If I use 0, always it refers the latest. Now it will refer 5th one. If I submit GDG generation, if I come back to here, it will refer the latest, that is 6th one. Am I clear? Now I can use -1. See, I'll go to so now it is a 5. If I use 0, it will refer 5. But I want to read always the last but one before latest one. So what is the before latest one? 4. So what I want to convey, okay, today I will be taking so much more time. 0 means to retrieve latest generation. Okay, so -1 before latest one. So before latest one, what is there? 4. So if I use, I can go in a reversing order like that. -2, 3. Okay, so +1 indicates to create a new generation. 0 indicates to retrieve the latest version. Before latest version, -1 before we will be using -2. So symbols, numbers are going to play key role here. See, now if you see team, the zeros, -1, -2 are working are fine because of the definition what we discussed. So generation, GDG, are group of data sets are related to each other by common name. So all are linking. So this is totally depends on the GDG base. This is depends on the GDG base. This is also depends on the GDG base. Okay. Is it clear to now? So typical, very this till this anybody will answer. Again, I am repeating. So whatever now I ask, everybody can give. But this one, people will give always with a 50-50 doubt. Doubtfully they will give answer. So what is the question here? Step 1, I am creating. Step 1, I am creating one generation, and step 1, I am creating one generation as a output. So that output, so means step 1 output should go as a input to the next or immediate step. That is immediate step. That is step 2. Make sense? Are you clear with the question first? So I am creating one generation as an output in the step 1. In step 1, I am creating one generation as an output, and that's output, nothing but step 1 output should go as a input to the input in next or immediate step. That is step 2. So creation, accessing, both are in same. Now in our earlier scenarios, we created generation in one job and accessing in another job, in another step. Both are not belongs to same job. Okay, they are both are in different jobs. Now creating, retrieving, both of them are belongs to same.
Generation should be same, sir.
So how do you handle it? That is the question by interviewers. So now I will give the answer. Yeah, Prabhushan, you want to add anything?
Yeah, the generation should be same, both generations, because it's job level execution.
Correct, correct. So now you refer, that is question. Okay, that we will see now. So DD sys out equal star sys ut1 DD star. See, by the way, how many generations are there? Okay, first we need to let me start 3.4. See, how many generations are there? 5 are there. 3, 4, 5. So please remember 3, 4, 5 is there. Sys1 star. Okay, very, very important question. Companies. I'm giving some dummy data. Slash star. So how we can generate the new generation T as an output. Sys2 DSN is equal. Specify the generation GDG base. So GDG base only will help. Without base, I cannot do it. Okay, basement is very important for any house, right? So for GDG generations also, base is very important. So +1 disposition new catalog delete unit equal sys da space is equal track 1,1. So DCB LRECL 18 block size 800 record RECFM pixel block DSORG yes sysin DD star. Not, it should be a dummy. Save F show off. Yeah. So team, as you know, we are writing this data to new generation. If I submit this particular JCL, I will be getting 6th generation. So whatever I am going to create, I want to refer that one only. It will create 6th one. So this one only I have to refer. So I'll repeat same code. Use as a step 2. No input is required. So I'm trying to simplify the code. So now you tell me, guys. Okay, so what is the answer here? 0. So generally we will give the answer. So what happens, Steve? This particular output going as an input to this particular step. Okay, so output, sorry. So this particular data is writing into the generation. It is going to become a 6th one. So whatever we are copying, companies, very, very important question, that I should retrieve in the another step within the same job. If I use 0, always it will refer, not always at this moment, it will refer the fifth one, but not sixth one, which is creating by step 1. I'm repeating again. If I use 0, it retrieves the fifth one, but not the sixth one, which is creating by step 1. So in the step 1, it creates the sixth one. I want to access here. So to retrieve that, we have to use +1. Okay, we have to use +1 because both are the one which you are creating. You are accessing in the same. You are accessing same in the same JCL. So you have to use +1. So ultimately in the spool it should print companies. So go to spool, CCUT2, see companies. So this is the answer for that particular question. Is it clear, team? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So extension to that question only. Okay, extension to this question only. That, okay. And I want to create one more generation in step 3. So same 80% is same. On top of that, I'm adding it. You got my question? So the question here, I will use IFBR 14 to create a generation DD. DSM is equal to 0. Now the question is here, team, what we should mention. That is all about. So I'll copy this code because this is the link. Yeah. So now what I should mention here. So if I already use it +1 on the top, here I use it to retrieve. What I should here. So I'm creating a second generation. Already one generation, right? So according to the current scenario, sixth one is there.
+1, I think, sir.
So 3.4, C6 is there. So if I submit now, okay. So 6 is there too. F9. Did you remember where I kept? Yeah, here. So team, if I submit here, it will create the 7th one. It will create the 7th one. I'm accessing 7th one by using +1. Now I want to create 8th. Okay, this is 7th already done, but I want to create 8th one, new generation in step 3. So do I need to use +1? Do I need to use +2? Okay, so we have to use +2. You have to use +2. So what I'm expecting, it should run smoothly. It should create 8. So the expected output should be 8th generation. Okay. 8. I guess
Okay,
for this
+2 we have to use it. Okay.
so first time, I'm explaining this one. Okay, because so many people pinged me in my, in groups, they will ping me separately and they will ask this particular scenario. So far I did not explain this scenario to anyone. Generally, I'll explain this question. Okay, I'll explain this one, but not this one. So I thought of showing practically. Yes, I shown you. Okay. Okay, first you need to understand the question. Then you need to build it. Okay, team.
Venkat,
Yeah, go ahead.
in step 4, I am creating one more output file
Okay.
and GDG output file. In that case, I need to give +3.
+3.
Okay. If it is in same JCL, I mean same different steps means, right?
Right. That rule only you are creating 3 generations under same job, then +1, +2, +3. You see. Now I have given 1, 2, 3. See how many now 8 is there, right? Now 8. If I submit, ninth one will be created by this one. Then 10th one will be created by this one. 11th one will be created by this.
Okay.
So that is okay. Submit.
Okay.
So always remember if it is within the same job.
Okay.
So Venkat, so simultaneously older generation will be deleted, as we do it like this +1 giving +1.
Yeah. So again, that concept remains the same. Okay. So what is the
So
oldest one?
up to
9.
okay, up to 255 we can generate like the same procedure.
Yes.
Okay.
That time we should give limit to 55.
Sir, one question here, sir.
Yeah.
So depending upon this limit equal to 3 or 4, the previous older generations will be deleted. That concept is clear. But now the generations will be keep on creating. Okay. If I want to see like in real situation, we will be not knowing the this one, right? The job which is in the job where they have given this limit and scratch, no scratch and all. So in that case, how to find which is the job which is creating these generations?
See, if you want to know the limit of the GDG and all, the answer you can do print IDS. No, not print. Sorry. List cat IDS all. Okay. Enter. You can see. Wait. Okay. There will be GD list will be there. Okay.
Yeah, this is correct only, sir. But
So, yeah. Just I'm trying to. So team, we can get the how many generations, but there is a command. Okay. So many are coming. Let me use PA1. Yes. Just cat entries. Entries. That is my mistake. Yeah. Are you able to see now? List cat entries. That is correct.
1 second, sir.
Yeah. So we can see.
Release
Release to limit 3. Scratch no.
limit 3 scratch 90. Okay.
So you want to know? I'll type here. Okay. List cat entries all. Take this way.
Okay, sir.
So you got the answer? I mean, partially or at least.
Yeah, sir. Got it.
Yeah. See the last question on GDG. There are so many. Okay. Obviously, right? In real time, they will bring a number, but these are all most frequently asked questions. The last 5 minutes or 10 minutes, what I explained, those are all very, very important. If you remember them, you can able to answer. So now I am trying to delete the GDG. Okay, let's say I'm trying to delete. Okay, first I will delete the generation. Deleted. Refreshing. GDG is there. So I'm deleting it. It will delete. No problem. DEL at the enter. Deleted. But I'm trying to do the same thing in case of the another GDG. I will get an error. So can you see entry MATERM John 21 JCL's demo GDG not deleted. So the reason for that, you can say like primary foreign key concept in SQL similarly. So as I told you, right, generations cannot be there without GDG. Simple rule. So if you delete GDG, then how you can able to do? How this exists? Because interlinking is there, right? So what it is indicating the error, boss, on this particular GDG, some dependencies are there, child are there, child keys are there, generations are there, we cannot delete. So that is the meaning of it. Okay, that is the meaning of it. If you want to delete, even generations are there, you want to delete generations plus GDG, that also we can do it. If you want to do that also, we can do it. So for that, we need to write a JCL, or we have to do through 3.2. So I'll do using 3.2. So we GDG name. So I want to do delete. So now I'll use 2 to delete. What is the one? 4. Enter. So there is something called force. So we have to use force option. Enter. Let me try. Execute. So force means delete generations and GDG also. So refresh, all are gone. So interview question is what? Generations are there. How I can delete GDG? So to tell that by using force, we can delete generations plus GDG. That is the answer. If they ask you cross question that I want to keep generations but delete the GDG, it is not possible as per my knowledge. Keeping the generations, deleting GDG basic is not possible. That is the answer you can give. After taking backup and all, you can do something here and there, but directly, technically, you cannot able to do as per my knowledge, I can say. Okay, team. So that's all about GDG. Let me stop the recording.